on the course on ocean structures and materials. It is clear for all of you that concrete is accepted as one of the famous and popular construction material for ocean structural systems, in addition to steel as one of the major alternative for the construction material of ocean structural systems. We have also seen alternative materials other than steel and concrete, but there are problems associated with these materials because international code regulations do not very commonly support these two new kinds of composite materials. Now, when you look concrete as one of the important and interesting emerging material for construction in offshore structural systems, there are specific problems associated with concrete as a construction material. Though concrete is a good substitute in terms of strength point of view and serviceability point of view, because concrete does not get deteriorated as it is becoming in case of steel because of the corrosive marine environment, but concrete also undergoes corrosive reactions because of the embedded reinforcement in concrete what we have discussed in the previous lectures. In this lecture we will talk about some special kinds of repair and the material attempted to do these repairs, in particular for concrete structures. That is going to be the focus of this lecture. So, we will speak about materials for special repair of ocean structures in this lecture. There are varieties of materials available for special repair addressed to concrete structures in ocean structural systems. Top amongst them is a very common kind of material which is called as admixtures. Admixtures are added to concrete to essentially modify the properties of fresh concrete as well as the characteristics of hardened concrete. There are different types of admixtures which are available in the market, which can be commercially available from different manufacturers all over the country. They all have different functions, they all modify certain varieties of properties to fresh concrete as well as hardened concrete. We will see them one by one in the list as being floated now. The top amongst the list is what we commonly use is water reducing admixtures. This is commercially called as plasticizers. There can be high range water reducing admixtures which are commercially called as super plasticizers. There can be retarding plasticizers. We can also use air entraining agents as additional admixtures in concrete. There can be accelerators, surface retarders and corrosion inhibitors which can be also used while concrete is being poured in the formwork when it is green. There can be also integral waterproofing compounds that can be added to fresh concrete when the concrete is being laid. There can be also sprayed concrete accelerators which are specific application purposes on concrete structures. You can also use what we call hyperplasticizers in concrete. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are varieties of admixtures which are recommended by the commercial manufacturers of these admixtures at various levels in terms of fresh as well as hardened concrete. Some of them are essentially used for repair, or some of them can also be used as a routine part of the construction activity as well. If you look at the water reducing admixtures which are commonly called as plasticizers, they are generally used where improved density and improved quality of concrete is required. Ladies and gentlemen, both these properties are very vital as far as concrete is considered in ocean environment, because I want to have a higher density concrete as well as the quality of concrete should be at its best. Use of these admixtures in construction of ocean structures can result in saving of cement without affecting the workability and the strength of concrete. Typical dosage of these admixtures, which are called as plasticizers, are about 100 to 300 milliliters per bag of cement depending on the type of admixture. Generally, manufacturers advise or recommend this dosage depending upon the variety and the chemical composition of the plasticizers. The typical commercial brands which are available in the market are Conplast P211 and Conplast P505, both of them are from Fosroc Chemicals. So, these are examples quoted in the slide. Other than this, there are varieties of plasticizers available in the market which are generally used to improve the quality and certain characteristics of concrete when they have been used. Essentially they are used as water reducing admixtures. You can also use high range of water reducing admixtures which are called as super plasticizers in the commercial brands. In construction of ocean structures, precast elements play a very major role because they are used in large scale. There are many reasons why precast members are preferred to in situ construction as far as ocean structural systems are concerned, because they ensure proper quality control as they are fabricated and erected in the lab controlled environment. To speed up the construction process, prefabricated precast elements can be easily made available on any specific modular dimensions, which can be used to speed up the construction process as well, and above all it facilitates easy installation of the platforms. As we all understand, installation of offshore structures becomes a major task as the mass of the structure is very large and they have got to be installed in a very high hostile environment. To enable easy compaction of concrete in a heavily reinforced precast elements, high range water reducing admixtures which are called as super plasticizers are generally added to concrete. It improves the compaction of concrete in reinforcement dense shuttering. On the other hand, they also improve workability and cohesion between the aggregates. It also aids pumping of concrete by reducing friction of flow and dry packing. It results in low porosity and improved resistance to water penetration, which is very important to protect the reinforcement from the corrosive environment like sea environment. Typical dosage is about 200 to 500 milliliters per bag of cement. The commercial brands available, for example, in the market are Conplast SP337 and Conplast SP430, which can be commonly used as super plasticizers for marine structural systems. If you look at the next variety of admixture which is also commonly recommended in the construction of ocean structural systems, we talk about retarding plasticizers. Ladies and gentlemen, as the name retarding suggests, the construction process of ocean structures encounters a very special problem which can be addressed to delayed the placing of concrete. The concrete, once it is green, need to be placed in the formwork within a specific period of time depending upon the admixtures what to add. If you really want to delay the placing of concrete, then you need to add certain chemical admixtures to concrete which retards the setting time, or it gives you enough time to place the fresh concrete. Now, in ocean structures this is a very special requirement because it may be due to the site location at a hostile environment, may also be due to the weather window during which the construction process cannot take place. In such situations, retarding plasticizers help us to avoid what we technically call cold joints. It is useful in construction of piles in offshore structures. The usual dosage of retarding plasticizers added to fresh concrete is about 10 to 300 milliliter per bag of cement. The commercially available brands of retarding plasticizers, for example, are Conplast RP264, which is also from Fosroc Chemicals. Coming about the usefulness of air entraining agents which can be added as admixtures to fresh concrete. Low permeability concrete is an essential demand for ocean structural systems because it improves the serviceability under sea environment. The improved resistance to salt in marine and coastal structures are also important for these kind of structural systems. Air entraining agents, if added to the fresh concrete, ensures low permeability to concrete. It also in addition improves cohesiveness with harsh aggregates. It may be required as a fundamental requirement for massive foundations, for example, for gravity based structures, sea walls, jetties, etc. For example, Conplast PA21S is a suitable air entraining mixture which is manufactured by Fosroc. The normal dosage of this air entraining agent varies from 10 to 200 ml per bag of cement depending upon the recommendation given by the manufacturer. Coming to the accelerators and surface retarders, which can be also used as admixtures in the construction of concrete structures of ocean structural systems. Accelerators are essentially required for concrete placed in cold weather. As we all understand, in ocean environment the weather window varies drastically during the construction process. If the weather window varies unsuitably for the construction process, then accelerators are required to be used in concrete to place it during cold weather. They are also required when attempting a quick repair on ocean structures. Ladies and gentlemen, we all understand, like coastal structures of strategic importance, for example jetties used by naval base etc., the repair time available or the shutdown time available of the jetties are very less. One has to therefore undergo or undertake the repairs of these kind of structural systems in the quick possible time. In that cases, we may have to add accelerators when we are attempting for quick repair of offshore structural systems. The surface retarders can improve the aggregate concrete finish in the face down of precast members. Accelerated drying due to wind in the open sea shall be controlled using these kind of retarders. Therefore, they allow enough moisture to be available for concrete to have a fresh finish. For example, Conplast NC, which is an accelerator, and Conplast SR, which is a retarder, are commercially available brands manufactured by Fosroc, which can be used in marine environment comfortably. Usual dosage is about 1 to 2 liters per bag of cement. If we talk about integral waterproofing compounds, which are also added as admixtures to concrete into fresh concrete, are the following. Waterproofing is a fundamental requirement for concrete structures because penetration of water or presence of continuous moisture shall initiate corrosion of reinforcement present in the bar. Waterproofing compounds shall therefore reduce permeability of concrete, therefore it protects concrete by not permitting water to penetrate through the concrete, which can result in corrosion of rebar that is embedded in concrete. It also of course improves workability of concrete, it minimizes shrinkage cracks, and the commercial products available for integral waterproofing are Conplast X4211C, WP90, WP112 etc. All these are commercial brands available from Fosroc Chemicals, which can be comfortably used as waterproofing compounds for concrete to improve on the permeability or to minimize the shrinkage cracks resulting from the laying of concrete. Usual dosage is about 125 to 200 ml per bag of cement. If we talk about sprayed concrete accelerators, which can also be used as chemical admixtures in fresh concrete, in particular to ocean structural systems, shotcrete and ganneting process are highly common in the repair of marine structures. We all understand that the marine structure repair invokes state of art condition and requirements for rehabilitating them because of the less shutdown time, and of course availability of material and the state of art repair technology need to be applied to these repair methodologies, because the shutdown time of marine structures which are of strategic importance may not be available for a longer duration. So, shotcrete is one of the important admixture which is being used for concrete repairs. So, sprayed concrete accelerators can be of a liquid admixture which accelerates the setting time when used for underwater applications. For example, Sprayset HBL is a commercial product available for use which is manufactured from Fosroc. The usual dosage of a sprayed concrete accelerator varies is about 23 liters per bag of cement. If we talk about hyperplasticizers, which are also used as admixtures in concrete, they are generally used to achieve the high early strength and improve workability of concrete. It aids basically pumping of concrete. As we understand, the batching plants cannot be located as close to the construction site in offshore as well as coastal structures. So, therefore, there may be an essentiality of pumping a large volume of concrete when the construction of these kind of structures do happen. Therefore, to aid pumping of concrete, hyperplasticizers are generally added to the raw concrete. It is an inevitable admixture in case of self compact concrete. Generally they are used in narrow formwork, for example in repair of jetties. It also aids placing of concrete in underwater construction very fast. The commercial products available for hyperplasticizers are, for example, Structuro 100, Structuro 485, which are manufactured by Fosroc Chemicals. The usual dosage recommended by the manufacturer is about 250 ml to 1.5 liters per bag of cement. If you look at the surface treatments, which are also equally important for maintaining the integrity of offshore structures and to improve the load carrying capacity as well as serviceability of these kind of structures in marine environment, they are required to improve the surface finish of exposed concrete structures. Curing compounds can be used as surface treatments. As a spray applied onto the membrane, it will retain the moisture in concrete for effective curing. In case of deck slabs of jetties where large area of concrete is to be cast, curing compounds can become advantageous. The commercial products available in the market are, for example, Concure WB and LP90, both of them are manufactured from Fosroc Chemicals. The usual dosage of surface treatment admixtures vary from 200 to 270 milliliter per square meter area of application. If you look at the grouts and anchors and the admixtures related to grout and anchoring processes, anchors are integral part of any mooring system provided in ocean structures. The essential requirements of an anchor grouts are the following: it should be non-shrink, it should be free flowing, and preferably the material should be cementitious. It is because of the basic reason that cementitious products have a good bonding with the concrete as a parent material where the repair is being attempted. Alternatively, they should also have a high strength, because anchor grouts are very important to impose upon the axial pull or axial push to the bolts or the members through which they are grouted. It is also requested that these kind of admixtures to ensure rapid setting of these cementitious material in a quick possible time. They should be having a specific characteristic of shrinkage compensated admixtures, and they should be available in a pourable models. They should not be a solid material, because then compaction of grout material in a narrow hole available for the bolts becomes a difficult issue. Epoxy based resins are also injected and used as injection grouts. They are generally preferred for injection grouting of repairs where there are narrow gaps on the surface of concrete. In cases where chemical spillage may occur, epoxy resins based grouts are more effective. Polyester resin based chemical anchor grouts are specifically used in case of rock bed anchors, fenders, and to fix up any marine equipments. For example, Lockfix, Convextra EUW are the commercial available brands manufactured by Fosroc, which can be used as anchor grouts in common terminologies. If you talk about special repairs to concrete, spoiling of concrete is a very common problem which is normally seen on marine structures. Marine structures are exposed to severe environment which is corrosive and chemical in nature because of the presence of salts and because of the continuous moisture present in the surface, especially in case of splash zones and tidal zones. The members or piles are subject to severe corrosive environment and they result in spoiling of concrete. It is essentially occurring due to the deterioration of material strength and age. When the rebar starts corroding, it expands to the multi-phased volume, which will cause external pressure on the cover of concrete, which makes the cover of concrete to fall down from the parent member, what we call as spoiling of concrete. Generally it occurs as an indication of deterioration of material strength and because of long age of concrete in a sea environment. It can also be due to corrosive marine environment, because as the rebar expand, there is a possibility that spoiling of concrete may follow the expansion of rebars. The problems associated to such special repairs are the access to such kind of repairs is generally restricted, or vibration of newly placed material could become impossible or essentially difficult to do the repair. In such special repairs, generally rapid temporary patching is done because it is essentially to be carried out for plugging the concrete segments from further damage. It is also required for filling the blowholes. It is required to eliminate the minor irregularities, so that major repair in the structure or in the member can be avoided in the near future. Therefore, for emergency reinstatement of the structure or the damaged part of the structure or deteriorated concrete, such special repairs need to be carried out in a very small possible time, what we call as temporary patching. If you look at the special requirements of materials for attempting such repairs on concrete structures in marine environment, the material should have a proper structural grade. As we understand, the parent grade of the concrete used in marine environment is generally very high. The basic grade of concrete which is recommended in ocean environment is M45. So, the material should also have a higher grade of structural grade of concrete, and if it is cementitious material. Remember, very important point, the repair attempted in concrete structures in marine environment is not a cosmetic task, but it is a functional task. The member has to undertake the same load carrying capacity or the stresses under the combination of loads for which they have to be designed. So, there is no compromise on the load carrying capacity of the material, even though the material have partially failed because of some penetration of moisture, because of corrosion of rebar, etc. All the special requirements of materials of such repair should ensure that after repair the structural member should remain functional as it was earlier. So, the repairs attempted in concrete structures in marine environment are not a cosmetic treatment. The best way or the best choice of engineers to use special material for such repair is it should be a lightweight grade in a pre-packed mode. That is what people prefer, because it should also be able to get portable to the site, should be used easily. The material which is to be used for such repair should remain as anti-washout material. It is a very important requirement of material under such special repairs. The material should remain as non-shrinking compound. The material should have high strength, and preferably it should remain cementitious material. Of course, epoxy based resins are also used for special repairs as material, but cementitious materials are generally preferred because they can get integrally molded with the parent concrete where the repair is being attempted. It should enable crack sealing completely, and it should have a rapid setting characteristic if it is to be used for special repair. It should also have a special characteristic called waterproof plugging. If you look at some example products which carry the above requirements, which can be used as a material for special repair in marine environment, then the list follows: Render Rock S2, Expo Seal underwater UW, Super Patch and Patch Rock, and Render Rock RS Extra, which are all manufactured by Fosroc Chemicals in India. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this lecture we saw special material which have been used for repairing concrete structures in marine environment. Of course, the dosage of these kind of admixtures which have been recommended for using for repair of concrete structures are generally recommended by the manufacturer themselves. There are no standard regulations and international codal provisions which will recommend this kind of material for any specific application in marine environment. Therefore, all these materials, all the update on this material depends on the latest research and development of various companies and manufacturing organizations which manufacture chemical admixtures which can be used for special repair in concrete structures, in particular to marine environment. If you look at the special repairs attempted in corrosive environment, for repair under chemical and corrosive environment, epoxy resin masters are generally recommended. For example, Nitomater S manufactured by Fosroc can be a good alternative for attempting repair under chemical or corrosive environment, which is generally a marine environment. For strengthening the structural members to improve their load carrying capacity, high performance, high strength composite fiber systems can also be used. They improve the shear strength of the members. In addition, they can also improve the strength, axial compression bending strength of the members. The commercial product available in the market, which is nothing but a composite fiber system, is NITO-WRAP EP manufactured by Fosroc, which can be also used in corrosive environment. Thank you.